Sathya Sai Speaks, Volume 11, Chapter 35, The Royal Road, Part 2 of 2. Love ignores logics, seva respects no syllogism. One can understand the spirit of renunciation and the depth of tolerance that is inherent in Indian noble response. Whoever is afflicted with calamity, at whatever time, under whatever conditions, your heart must react without delay in sympathy shown in some practical manner. No one should be condemned as trash. Even a little stick can serve as a toothpick. God has not made any man wholly bad or wholly good. Your likes and dislikes are inducing you to label them as such. Office bearers of the organization, strive to establish yourselves more firmly in your own truth and strive to demonstrate in your behavior that you are aware of the truth that all men are sparks of the same divine spirit. I consider seva, service, as the most important activity of the samitis, for it is the highest sadhana. Do not entangle yourselves in pros and cons, in arguments for and against, whether this way or that. They are the consequences of wrong or perverted scholarship. Love ignores logics, seva respects no syllogism. Try to observe the rules that have been framed through love, to canalize the love that you are required to cultivate. I have said this so often that all of you know my mind already. Start the day with love, spend the day with love, fill the day with love, end the day with love. That is the way of God. The samiti is the heart and the units are the limbs. First, it has been decided that the Sathya Sai Seva Samiti will hereafter be the key unit of the organization. Units like Sathya Sai Satsang, the Sathya Sai Bal Vikas, the Sathya Sai Study Circle, the Sathya Sai Bhajana Mandali and the Sathya Sai Seva Dal will be subordinate to the Samiti and supervised by it. The Samiti is the heart and the units are the limbs. The limbs cannot act independently as if they are a law unto themselves. During the third All India Conference, the Mahila Vibhag, the unit in charge of women's activities, was separated from the men's sections, but they were not affiliated and placed under the guidance of the samitis concerned. Of course, the Vibhag can have its own chairman and secretary, but both have to follow the advice and suggestions of the chairman of the Seva Samiti and the rules laid down for the Samiti. Each town shall have a single Samiti, organization and unit. It shall not have more than one. It may have within its jurisdiction 100 bhajana mandalis or 100 groups engaged in various other activities, but there shall be only one samiti. Limits and activities of the samiti. Bal Vikas, child progress sections, and Seva Dal, these are the only limbs of the Samiti, but Bal Vikas, we have decided, will be the special activity of the Mahila Vibhag alone. For women can, in a unique way, deal with children lovingly, affectionately, intelligently, and enthusiastically. The Bal Vikas shall take in children in the age group of 5 to 12, from the age of 12 and up to 18, children shall be in the junior Seva Dal. From 18 till 30, they will serve in the Seva Dal, and after 30, they are entitled to become members of the Seva Samitis, especially those who evince dedication and a high sense of service. When the Bal Vikas movement spreads, and children are ready to join high schools can be opened to receive them and continue their education on lines in tune with the ideals of the organization and with the establishment of Sathya Sai colleges. The process will be completed entirely under Sathya Sai auspices. Thus, the resurgent culture of Bharat will be built on strong foundations. Men teachers can run Bal Vikas classes, but they can have only boys as pupils. Another course of action that was decided upon today is this. You all know that books are being written by all kinds of people, in all manners of style and content, urged by all types of fancy, mostly with an eye for personal profit. But hereafter this shall stop. No book shall be published on Sai literature as suits the fancy of the writer or the publisher. There is a registered body named the Sri Sathya Sai Education Foundation. The manuscript has to be submitted to the foundation and published through the foundation in the manner approved by them. For books transform or deform the faculties of man. Many write books with no relevance or experience, relying solely on their imagination, and so people are left in the wilderness, unable to separate fact from fiction, truth from falsehood. Flow of information must be unbroken and steady. Again, in almost all the languages of India and in English, we have a number of periodicals under different names: Shanti, Prashanti, Sudha, Sanatana Sarathi, etc., causing confusion and complications. So we shall have only a single monthly magazine in each language called everywhere Sanatana Sarathi. From now on, it will not be possible for these periodicals to be published according to the will and pleasure of the people. If they are left as they are, there is likelihood of lowering the standards and even financial loss for the parties and consequent distress. So it has been decided to place the Sanatana Sarathi of each linguistic area on sound footing, both financially and in the range and authority of content. Another important matter. The organization is not yet organized effectively. Reports of activities from the units do not reach the Samiti. The Samiti are not reporting to the district presidents, and they in turn fail to inform the state presidents, who are unable to present a full picture of the activities of the state to me. The flow of information from below and of instruction and inspiration from above must be unbroken and steady. Adherence to these rules will strengthen the organization, which has as its aim the fostering of Bharatiya culture as the example for the whole of humanity. The organization believes that the Atma in each is the Atma in all, and that the God that each worships is the God that all worship. You cannot insist that in the bhajans only songs of Sathya Sai should be sung. Fanaticism of that kind I very much dislike and condemn, for all names and all forms denote only me. You betray your ignorance of my truth when you stick to any one of my names and avoid the rest. When you have identified the Atma principle and experienced its glory, you pass beyond the realm of rules. But until then, limits and lines of conduct have to be honored. Use the symbols of the organization. The state presidents have to pay immediate attention to this further point. In some states, people have started publicizing the manifestations of my power and converting themselves into propagandists with a view to making a profit out of the transaction. There are some units doing this type of business still existing inside the organization. You must decide to disassociate these units from the organization. Using the name, many collect donations and contributions, so those who are not aware of the norms of this organization are being misled and deceived. Efforts must be made to remove from the organization anyone, however rich, however renowned as a scholar, however influential or important in society, if he transgresses the rules of the organization. This must be done as soon as the transgression is known. In Kerala and in Mysore states, this has to be done without delay and without compunction. The symbol of the organization is the harmony of religions, the unity of all faiths, the acceptance of all approaches. I find that this symbol is now being indiscriminately used in badges, letterheads, wedding cards, etc., and it is also being adapted and changed according to individual fancy by the users. This is creating confusion, for there is no one identifiable symbol for the units of the organization or for the Sathya Sai Sevadal, etc. You must resolve to adopt the same design for letterheads used in official correspondence, the same symbol for badges all over the country. If you travel along the royal road of faith and discipline, you can reach the royal palace which you long to enter. Understand the basic similarities of various religions. 4 stages are mentioned in the spiritual progress. Salokya, being in the palace. Samipya, being in the immediate presence. Sarupya, being privileged to be clothed with a share of regal authority. And Sayujya, becoming king oneself. In the Bible, Christ is said to have announced first that he was a messenger of God. Later, he was the Son of God. And finally, he said, I and my Father are one. Then there is the further declaration of identity with the Holy Ghost too. In the Quran too, similar ideas are propounded. The Sathya Sai organization has to seek out chances of studying and substantiating these basic similarities and promote love and mutual cooperation. These rules we are laying down might appear to some of you as knife thrusts or hammer strokes, but they are meant to heal and to weld. Bow to them and observe them in action sincerely. Your path will be soft and smooth, like a path strewn with flower petals. I bless you that you adhere to them and receive the benefits of discipline and devotion. End of Part 2 of 2, Madras, December 23rd, 1971. See all as expressions of the same God, as appearances on the same screen, as bulbs lit by the same current, though of manifold colors and wattage. Feel that you and they are able to talk and walk, think and act because of the God within. Differences that strike you while you cast your eyes are illusory. You have not yet developed the vision that makes you apprehend the unity, which is the truth of all the seeming diversity, that is all. The fault is in you, not the world. The world is one, but each takes it to mean what pleases him most. Sri Sathya Sai Baba.